in this direction. I asked one of the administrators there, can we see the damage if we were to go that way? And she said that it's been blocked off at this point. They have dogs going through that school right now, just making sure that there's no one left inside. Again, we just got done speaking with a young 6th grader who described the chaos that was happening when that tornado hit. Students taken into bathrooms, his mother covering him as that tornado came through that school. And I'm told that there is not much left of that school this evening. It is just incredible, Morgan, the damage that is there. And, of course, they're about a quarter-mile away, and it looks like it's kind of normal right there. But the greatest scene of all of that right there is to see the kids that are okay. Again, it's 15613 Vicky Drive is where you can pick up kids right there for parents who are looking for them. They are all from the Briar Creek. They had to walk down there. And as Morgan said, and you heard the little boy there, Brady, saying his mom, a teacher at school, cover him during this storm. I want to go out to KOCO's Ariel Reshef right now. She's over at Southwest 19th. That's at the Walmart there in Moore. And boy, Ariel, I'll bet that place was packed when that storm hit. Ariel, do you have me there? Can you hear me? We'll get Ariel. We're getting a few communication problems. Ariel, if you hear me, just let me know right there. She's once again at Walmart there on Southwest 19th. Let's go back out to her and see if she can go there.
Okay, Paul and Jess, obviously no cell phone reception here, so we are having a very hard time hearing the studio, but I will tell you what we see here is just a catastrophic situation. We are here at 19th and Telephone at the Walmart that you can see behind me. I'm standing here with Robert Raymond. Robert, you were in the thick of all of this when it all happened. Tell us what you saw, what you heard.
I was at Southmore High School picking my oldest two when the tornado warnings went off, and the Southmore faculty did an outstanding job of getting everybody together, getting the kids into a safe spot into the school. And we just waited till it passed. Once it passed, we went outside, and you could see it was raining debris everywhere. And then we started getting reports of the hospital being hit, the theater being hit, and then Briarwood Elementary being hit. And my youngest son goes there. So I can't even begin to describe the amount of terror that I was feeling. The other parents that have kids that go there, I mean, there's really nothing to describe it. I mean, and at that point we were kind of stuck because we didn't know where to go. The roads are closed off, power lines are down, the police aren't letting anybody out. So I mean, at that point a lot of parents just started walking and running over to Briarwood. And when we got up to Briarwood, you could see that it had been just completely destroyed. I'm just happy that I was able to find my son, and my family's okay. I know that there were a few injuries out there. I don't know how bad, but I mean, the scene over there at the school is just catastrophic. It is just, I mean, there's chaos. I've never seen anything like it before.
Now your family is actually reunited here at Walmart. What made you come over here?
My wife works here, so we thought that, this is probably the best place just to kind of meet up, kind of collect our heads, figure out what our next move is going to be. I mean, our house was a little bit damaged, but we still can't get into our neighborhood, so, this is the best place to come for, just kind of sit down, think about what our next move is going to be.
What is that next move going to be? I mean, you're here at Walmart. We can see the debris all over this parking lot. We can only imagine what it looks like in the rest of the city. Tell us what your plans are from here.
Well, right now, we're going to go back down to Southmore. That's where our vehicle is. I mean, I couldn't move it, so we're going to go back down there, see if the roads have cleared up at all a little bit, just so we can get out. From there, we're going to maybe go to some family's house, or maybe find a hotel somewhere, and maybe, I don't know where we're going to go, but we'll get there. I mean, I want to make sure my animals are okay too. I've got 2 dogs and some cats, so we just want to make sure that they're okay too.
Robert, thank you so much for sharing some time with us today. I know it's a very difficult one, and we are so glad that you and your family are safe today.
Thank you.
Take care. Jess and Paul, I want to take you over and show you just a little bit of the debris over in the parking lot. You can see basically what Robert described to me earlier was a hail of debris. He could just see miles and miles. It almost clouded vision. You can see all the cars just completely covered in mud. If Carson, you'll pan right around here, you can see this truck kind of badly damaged. You can see that the tires were blown out. Many different areas in this parking lot and beyond have sustained damage. And really the most predominant sound here in this area is the piercing, wailing sound of sirens. There are sirens pouring in from everywhere. Just in the past few minutes alone, we have seen rescue crews from Midwest City, Dell City, Norman, of course Moore, and many, many others pouring into this area. It's obviously very congested in this neighborhood. 19th Street apparently sustained much of the damage, and we will bring you all the very latest on the ground here and more as soon as we have more.
Okay, Ariel, thank you very much. And you just hear that dad. He says, I'm just glad I could find my son. Briar Creek Elementary School, Briarwood, I should say, completely destroyed. Those were the words that he used. I have some information coming in from Southwest Medical Center right now. They have 19 patients in that area, in that hospital. 19 people have been transported there. 7 of them are in critical condition. 7 of them are serious. The others are all rated fair to good. I can tell you that the age ranges from a child to a 91-year-old of these 19 patients that have been taken to Southwest Medical Center. This is just one of the hospitals that is assisting in all of this. I can tell you that emergency crews from all over the area are now headed there. We heard from Edmond Police. They are headed to the area to help out. Midwest City. It's all hands on deck. It's all Oklahomans helping each other out, which is what it's going to take to get through all of this. Let's go out to KOCO's Michael Seiden. Michael is in one of the hard-hit areas there. Michael, where are you again?
Right now, we are on 8th Street in a subdivision, just 3 streets from Plaza Towers Elementary, where that search and rescue is going on. Let me get out of the way so you can just see the destruction in this neighborhood. You can see where this tornado just decimated homes. In fact, you look over there, that's a motor coach home that was flipped over. And earlier we talked to a couple people who rode out the storm. They told us that they had gone from door to door. All their neighbors are accounted for. No one was seriously injured, but we did see a heartbreaking scene. We saw a couple of people carrying a dog that was obviously in a lot of pain. The dog was whining. It did not look very good at all. But what we're seeing right now really is just widespread destruction. Right here you can see these residents trying to salvage whatever they can get. Also, a lot of just complete strangers coming down this street with bottles of water, trying to help people out, which is just really an unbelievable sight to see. Again, we talk about this so much when we have these deadly storms, the Oklahoma standard, people coming out and helping each other out. But again, you look at this, it seems like most people who live here have already left the area, and right now all this traffic that we're seeing are strangers coming in trying to help people out. But one thing I do want to make clear here as you continue to look at all the damage in this neighborhood and more, is there are a lot of rumors going around. We have heard all sorts of things like fatalities and just lots and lots of rumors, and I just can't stress it enough for people just to pay attention to credible sources like the news, emergency management, people like that, because you know when you're in a situation like this, one rumor kind of can spread like wildfire. So, you know, I've heard from concerned parents. I've had parents come up to me in tears who say they have kids at the school and they're hearing all these reports of all sorts of bad things. But again, we just want to urge you to pay attention to your news and also to emergency management. But again, just looking at this street, it is a stunning sight. I've never seen anything like this. And for a lot of these people, they said they heard the sirens, they either got into their shelter, and within 40 seconds the storm blew through here, and then they came out and they were left with this. You can see windows of SUVs and cars blown out, and again, right in front of us as photojournalist Brian Dixon pushes in, you can see that motorhome just flipped over on its side. Truly an unbelievable scene out here. But again, when you look at all this damage, and you would think when you'd come down here that there would be multiple injuries, possibly casualties, but talking to neighbors, it seems like everybody's okay. They are obviously shaken. Most people have lost everything. But I want to tell you one thing. As you look down this street, behind us, the houses at the beginning of this street, there's actually minimum damage. So it's really, as you look down the street, there's probably about a dozen homes with the roofs blown off of them, but at the beginning of the street, the first 5 or 6 homes, there's really not much damage, just a lot of debris. So obviously this was probably the path of the storm. Now, driving around more, it took us a while to actually get to the street. There is so much traffic. I mean, it looks like rush hour, bumper to bumper traffic, and there are a lot of first responders trying to get to these hard hit areas, trying to help out the residents. So if you don't live here, there's no reason to come out here. That is why we're out here, to bring you the live pictures, to show you what's going on, to give you information. But just to come out here and take pictures so you can put them on Twitter or Instagram, there is no reason to be out here. This is obviously a dangerous situation. At one point we were smelling gas down here. First responders need to get in here. They need to help out the people. So again, if you don't live here, don't come down here. Obviously there are down power lines, limbs. It is just not somewhere you want to be. But this out here is just really, it's got to be one of the hardest hit neighborhoods. I know we've heard reports of flattened homes, and this is right here. I mean, this is just, again, only 3 streets from that elementary school where we were told that there's a search and rescue going on. Actually, earlier today, we talked to a man who was on this street. He told us that he had ran over to that elementary school and actually rescued a teacher, pulled her from the debris. So I believe we have a reporter over there probably getting the very latest. But on this street, for the most part, this is the extent of the damage. Homes completely wiped off their foundation, roofs that have been blown across the street, flipped over vehicles. But again, the good news, everyone seems to be okay. We're going to continue to stay out here, listen to these stories of survival, and as soon as we get some more information, we will certainly let you know. But again, I want to let people know to continue to follow KOCO. You can also download the app on KOCO.com. We're trying to get as much information as possible, because I've had parents coming up to me asking me, do you know if the kids are okay? Do you know how I can get in contact with my kids? We're not getting any cell phone service out here. So that's the very latest from this neighborhood and more. Now back to you, Jessica and Paul.
Okay, thank you very much, Michael Seiden. And Jessica is headed over to the scene right there. I keep getting tweets from her and messages. She's stuck in traffic like the rest of everyone else trying to get out to Moore. So she's headed to the scene to get more information from us. Let's go back out to KOCO's Morgan Chesky, because Morgan, you're there and some folks are getting some assistance from the ambulances right now.
Right, Paul, Jess, last time we spoke, we mentioned a Logan Parker. He was a student at Briarwood Elementary who had a puncture to his back. I can tell you right now that ambulance is on the scene. We're not going to show you inside it right now, but I can tell you he is being treated, and the good news, he should be okay. And I just want to tell you one of the many stories coming out of this right now. We have a father here and his daughter. They were just reunited. You see me holding the cell phone up. This is the only way I can hear you guys, just because so many cell phone lines are down, or not so much down, but we're not able to communicate. So we're trying to get out the information here at Vicky Drive and 156. Again, that is the unofficial pickup site right now for the students at Briarwood Elementary. They were brought here. We have a gentleman with the Oklahoma National Guard named Chase. Chase, you have seen the damage. You're trying to do your best right now to go forward. Kind of describe it for me. You've been there.
Yes.
We haven't seen it.
The school is pretty much flattened. All the surrounding houses are down. When I got up there, they were busting kids here in the back of trucks, just doing everything they could. When I got up to the school, I told them, I was like, hey, I'm here to help. I'm part of the guard, just trying to do everything I can. And they're like, okay, come with us. And then they started they found a lady, they were trying to get her out of the corner. And then we had volunteers everywhere just coming up saying, hey, where are the kids? Can we do anything to help? And we pretty much just assembled them and pushed them back and got everything situated and just got under control. And then that's when more Guard members and Air Force and firefighting just came in and started searching the whole school.
Chase, we've been getting a lot of different reports about how badly the school was damaged. When you approached it, how much is left?
When I approached it, I was hearing on the news and everything that it hit the gym and this and that. And then when I got up there, it was actually pretty much completely flattened, along with all the houses surrounding it.
What efforts going on right now still at the school trying to make sure everyone's okay? We know parents can come pick up their kids here, but what's still happening out at that scene? You've been there. We're unable to get there right now.
Pretty much just all the firefighting crews and all the police are just working together and trying to keep it organized to make sure that everybody is out of the building and just make sure everyone is safe and okay. They had the principal up there trying to do roll call on kids to figure out who's there and who's not. And then meanwhile, they were just busting them here.
Did how long have you been in Oklahoma, Chase?
Oklahoma, I was born and raised in Oklahoma.
Born and raised here. You grow up, you're used to this kind of weather, unfortunately, just because it's the nature of the beast in this part of the country. When you saw what you saw today, has it really sunk in yet? How does it feel to look around and see this in your own community?
I was in Oklahoma during the May 3rd, and it did a lot of damage. But I was real little. When I heard there was going to be a tornado, I immediately jumped in my truck and came to Moore, and I thought it was just going to be a normal tornado and everything. And then they reported that it was a mile wide, and it was quite a little bit bigger than the May 3rd. And that's when it hit me. I was like, this is going to be a killer tornado. And then when it came through and I got up here, then the realization hit, like, there's a lot of damage, and it's going to be bad.
And you hate to hear that description. Where are you headed now? I know we're keeping you. What's next?
Me and my friend Josh, we're actually going back up to the school to try and help any way we can from there, and just do anything we can to make sure everyone's all right.
Chase, don't want to keep him that. Thanks so much for your time. Pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
And Paul, Jess, I can tell you that Chase's story is one that we're starting to keep hearing from people showing up. They don't know exactly where to go, but as soon as they find out where they are going, that is where they head. I want to tell you now of a story that we just saw kind of unfold in front of us. Father reunited with his daughter here, and this is what we're trying to make happen by bringing you these live reports right now. And sir, I got to ask you, what happened? How did you get the news to come here? And then what did it feel like whenever you heard that storm was headed right for Briarwood?
I was actually at work. I was scheduled to get off at 3 o'clock, and they locked our building down, and I couldn't leave. I eventually got to the point where I told them, you can either fire me or whatever you got to do, I'm leaving. So I left. It took me 2 hours to get down I-44.
And how far away would that have typically been?
20 minutes. Been about 20 minutes. Actually, I left work. I don't even know what the current time is, but I left work at about 3:15, and
you just got here.
I just got here.
And tell me about this little one right here. What was going through your head as a father, knowing that she was right in its path when that hit, and not knowing how she was?
Oh, it hasn't even sunk in yet. It was definitely a worry, but it just hasn't sunk in, man.
How did you know to come here?
Asking. I bet you I asked 100 people. I probably asked somewhere around 100 people, just walking. I walked from 4th Street and Santa Fe.
Wow.
4th Street and Santa Fe, that's 3 or 4 miles. So asking as much as I can. My house, it's a funny thing, is there's a street, 144th and Brent Drive. It's right off of Santa Fe. It's in between 19th and 4th Street. That neighborhood, Westmore Edition, I actually just moved out of that house a month ago, and it's gone. It's gone. It's just, that's the first place I went. My neighbor was sitting there, and he's the one that told me that all the kids were okay. At that point, I was just walking just to get here.
And you're playing now. You can't. You're going to have to walk back. You can't. The traffic is gridlocked. You were trapped right here. There's no storm, but what do you do?
Wait it out. There's really nothing much more you can do.
And how's she doing?
She's good. She's I was actually wandering around here looking for her, and she called me out. So at least she's got a better eye than I do.
Gotcha. Father's Day gift coming a little bit early today, huh?
Definitely.
Hey, thanks so much for your time.
Hey, no problem.
All right. Well, Jess, I want to read you the updated list now of students that are still here that can be picked up by their parents. The names have gone, look how much. We started out with both sides of this notebook. Now we're just down to these few names. This is such a relief to see on a day like this. Word getting around and people picking up their children here. We're going to read through the names here. Again, these are Briarwood Elementary School students who are at the corner of Vicky Drive and 156 Court. We have names Catherine Walker. We have Kendall Michelle Simmons, first grader. We have Isaiah Orta. We have Broke Kelly. And those are 4 names right now of children who can be picked up here. Andrew just showed you one of the most relieving things I've seen, and that's that creature comforts. You have a tornado come through, take out an entire school. We have a can of Dr. Pepper in one girl's hand. We have the popsicles. We have bottles of water. They're tending to the folks who need it here. We have the relieving news of one student who had a back puncture. He was treated and released in an ambulance that was able to reach here. Unfortunately, one of the exceptions to the rule in a day where there's so much gridlock here south of Moore. Right now, I can tell you that we still have parents and students here. I'm going to go ahead and hand that list back off. Andrew, go ahead and just show folks some of the faces here. This is one of the few ways we are able to communicate and get out, just because right now I just lost my cell phone connection to the station, but we are still able to bring you these live pictures right now. And as long as we're able to do that, we're going to have a chance to hopefully share some of this with folks out there that are watching right now. How's it going, bud?
It's good.
Good to hear. You got that popsicle. I got to ask you, what grade are you in, and what's your name, just in case people are watching? Caden? Mm-hmm. And you're in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
Born and raised in Oklahoma.
Yep.
Caden, I wasn't at that school whenever that storm hit earlier. You were. How'd you stay safe?
Well, I didn't have a backpack or anything under my head, so my mom just covered me, and the tornado almost got her, so, but she just grabbed onto something and kept me safe.
Is your mom a teacher at the school?
Yeah, she's right there.
Oh, okay, good deal. And Caden, I gotta ask you, what class were you in whenever that storm started moving in, and what did your teacher do to keep everyone safe?
Well, I was in the library hallway, but then my mom sent a girl to get me, and so I had to stay in my mom's room.
Gotcha. And do you remember it coming in, and as the storm came in?
Mm-hmm.
What was that like?
Yeah, well, I was on the ground, and I just, my ears just went beep, and I couldn't hear anything except cracking and kids screaming.
But you're okay?
Yeah.
And what about your other classmates?
Yeah.
Are they okay? That from what you could see?
Yeah. All of them are all right.
Good deal. Hey, thanks so much for your time. Enjoy that popsicle.
Thanks.
And appreciate it. Just so great to hear that news. Again, we haven't seen photos. We're going to work our way towards the school here in just a little bit, but when you hear reports of a roof completely gone, and we had one of the National Guardsmen say that school was flattened. When you hear those words, very reassuring. Students are doing okay. If they're not, they're getting the treatment to make sure they are. And parents being reunited with their students here. Again, if you're just now tuning in, at the corner of Vicky Drive and 156 Court, this is where you can come by and pick up your students from Briarwood Elementary. That's just about a quarter mile away from us right now. One of the schools hardest hit when this tornado rolled through Moore this afternoon. And take a look around. Andrew, let's show the folks the crowd getting smaller.
And yeah, you can see that crowd getting smaller. I've got some important information coming in from Jeremy Lewis with the City of Moore Police. Jeremy, what do you need to tell us right now?
Right now, it's an extremely large search and rescue effort. The biggest problem we have is people trying to get into the city to look at this. And being in Moore pretty much my whole life and seeing a lot of tornadoes, there's nothing that compares to what we're dealing with right now. We have literally every agency within the metro area trying to help us out. But right now, it's totally overwhelming at this point.
What type of rescues have you guys been able to help people out of today?
Well, we still have officers at Plaza Towers Elementary School searching that school. The neighborhood that surrounds Plaza Towers Elementary School is completely leveled and devastated. It pretty much goes from there. It doesn't look like the tornado let up at all going through our entire city. Everything is completely leveled in that area.
So you were there for the May 3rd, 1999, and you just said nothing compares to this. So this is way worse, you're saying?
This is definitely, for our city, a lot worse than the May 3rd tornado. It went through our entire city this time, taking out pretty much the center of Moore. It looks like just from the damage area, about a mile to a mile and a half wide, all the way across.
And what do you tell folks that, you know, you guys are really a bedroom community to Oklahoma City. So many people work there, live there and work in Oklahoma City. They're probably trying to get home. What do you tell the folks that are trying to get into the area right now? Where do they need to go?
Well, as of right now, we understand people want to check on their property and things like that. There's going to be a time for that, but right now we still have people that are still in these neighborhoods that need our assistance. Getting the guys in there is what's difficult when we have the roads blocked and things like that. Just people want to come and see the devastation. They will get their chance to see the devastation if they will just stay at home at this time. Let us get officers in the area to rescue these people while they're still they're trapped. It's obvious there are definitely still going to be people in these areas